Welcome back to the channel. We are in the gun room again today. I've got another optic out for us to take a look at. Shout out to John over at Tract Optics for sending this out for us to evaluate. Get you a shot of the product label here. So this is the Toric 34 millimeter, 4.5 to 30 by 56 first focal plane optics. Now this is an MOA, extended long range edition rifle scope. Product number 35, there's a shot of the UPC code for your reference, and it is made in Japan. So we should be seeing some extreme quality glass here. Let's go ahead and open the box. Now, one thing I did notice, this does not come with a product manual in the box. It does give you a QR code to get on their website and access additional information there. So just kind of keep that in mind. And on the back, they do have their own Impact Ballistics mobile app that goes specifically with these rifle scopes. So that's pretty cool. Set that off to the side. You do get, out of the box, one 3-inch sunshade. So that's pretty cool. Get some more contact information in case you need to get a hold of them for anything, any questions. Scope cleaning cloth, one of them. You get a 0-stop ring. Really easy to install this. And they do include a 2032 battery for the illuminated reticle in this box as well. It's down there in the bottom. And then a couple of hex keys. So we'll set that off to the side. Now, one thing that I did notice is that this does not include like scope caps, flip-up caps, and it doesn't include a throw lever or anything like that. Now, this is not a cheap optic, I'm not going to lie. So, I mean, you would kind of expect perhaps to see those accessories included out of the box. But with that said, you know, to me, I kind of take it as instead of paying for those accessories, you're putting more money into the quality of the scope. So, and I think that's kind of what you see here. You can still get a throw lever off their website. It's less than like 30 bucks. And they do give you some caps, and they are usable. Most of the time, the flip-up caps that most companies give you, they don't work anyway. They don't ever stay closed, or they just flat out break. These right here, adequate enough to keep dust and such off of your glass when this thing's in storage or in the case. So really, I don't have an issue with that. Now, the scope itself, as mentioned, 34 millimeter main tube. Absolutely huge tube. And I really like the finish. This is kind of like a, maybe like a graphite grayish type color. I hope it's coming through. It'll probably come through a little bit better when we get outside and get on the range. But I really like it. It's a very nice color. It's different than your standard black, of course. So it's a pretty cool addition as far as aesthetics go. Now, to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of this optic itself. So after doing a bit of research, these contain what's called shot HT glass. So if you've never heard of that, that's a high transmission glass that really leads to twilight shooting. So it increases the mesopic variation, or the mesopic stage of light, which basically just means that lower light conditions are going to be more enhanced. And it also increases the blue-violet spectral range. So you're going to get really crisp images, basically no matter the light conditions, provided that it's not dark, obviously. You get a reduced thermal lensing. So this should be able to reduce that kind of like the mirage effect that you see if you have an extended range fire. So if you're putting 5 or 6 rounds down range at the same time, should help to mitigate that mirage quite a bit. You get improved color contribution, even in, again, that low light setting. So superior image quality right off the bat, man. And Japanese optics, you can even see here, made in Japan. You guys know as well as I do, I mean, that's just quality stuff. So 56 millimeter objective, we've got about little over 3.5 inches of eye relief. You get a pretty generous field of view. Low power is a little over 24.5 feet. High power is about 3.5. Like I said, it does have the ED glass, ultra high definition. It's argon purged, so you won't have to worry about that. You get the Christmas tree style reticle, which I printed off a picture of that so we can talk about that here directly. And the Mount space on this, you got about 6.4 inches to be able to mount your scope on to your rifle itself. You get 100 MOA of adjustment. That is just insane. Now, getting to adjustments, let's talk about the reticles or the turrets here just for a minute. I think this is by far probably my new favorite turret design. And the reason I'm saying that is for one singular reason. How many times have you went and accidentally bumped a turret or something like that, not known it, sat back down at the bench, taken a shot, and it was completely off? I have done that on more than one occasion. You do not have to worry about this if you've never seen a turret style like this. So right now, can't turn it at all. So if it was in your case or what have you on the bench, it's not going to turn. It's not going to adjust until you lift up that turret and adjust it. Push it down and lock it. Same with your windage as well. So very, very nice addition. And look, on your come-ups here, so there's 0. You can go all the way across to 24 and carry over to 25 and then continue to go on up. So that's a great addition. They included that extra ranging on the turret cap there as well to kind of help you keep your place. And then you got your right and left adjustments here on your windage. So absolutely great design. I really do like that. Your parallax all the way down to 25. So this is definitely usable for NRL 22 in most cases. This would be an epic NRL 22 scope. Now, you do have illumination, as mentioned before, 11 settings. And one cool thing about this, and I'll go ahead and talk about the reticle now. So here's what the reticle looks like. Now, the whole reticle is illuminated. It's not just the center section, which a lot of scopes will do. Yeah, it's illuminated, I guess, but only the center section. In this Tract optic, the whole thing is illuminated. So you get 11 settings as far as that goes. And it is daytime bright, so you can actually see it if needed. You get a lot of usability and a lot of ranging capability off of this reticle. I think it's an easy reticle to understand. It's not overly complicated, but you've got a very, very small, I think this is like 0.14 inches MOA floating dot. So if you are doing NRL type stuff, especially 22, that dot is small enough that it's not going to obscure your target. That was one issue that I had with some other scopes that I was running for NRL 22. The center section was so big, you couldn't hardly see the target if you were shooting really small KYL and stuff like that. So that's a great addition to the reticle. Then you get 1 MOA and 5 MOA stagings on the vertical and on the windage, plus all of the windage corrections down here below. You get 1/2 inch minute of angle adjustment there on your top vertical and your windage here. So extreme amount of capability with this reticle, and they're just really easy to use. So super excited to see that style of reticle in this scope. But overall, I cannot wait to get this thing out to the range. Now, after listening to some feedback from some of you guys, we're going to change up that review a little bit on how we review our scopes from now on. We are still going to use our box to precision scope tracking targets, but I've done something a little bit different. So to kind of make them a little bit less busy, this is an MOA scope, so I only have the MOA lines available. And we will shoot our standard tracking test starting down here and then going left and right. But we're going to do a couple of shots in each section, not just one. So that way, in case the rifle needs to settle down, you get a good idea of where it's actually hitting as far as the tracking goes. So 5 MOA all the way up to 25, because I know you guys like watching shots impact the target. So for this one here, we are going to be using my Savage Model 12 LRVP. And if you've watched the channel any length of time, you know this thing is an absolute laser beam. So I have no doubt that it will represent this Tract optic well. So here's just one group with that rifle at 200 yards. So yeah, that 88 grain ELD load, it likes it a lot. So I have no doubt that it will serve us well. So we'll get some through scope footage with the scope cam to see how it does. Take our target down, we'll get it back to the bench, then we'll get some final thoughts. So let me get the camera transferred and I'll meet you guys back at the hive. All right, so we've got our box of precision target set at exactly 100 yards. We've got that confirmed by surveyor's tape and laser rangefinder. So we're going to take our first shot here at the center bullseye there at the bottom. You guys are going to be able to follow along in the shot cam. So we'll see what we can do with this. So stand by. First shot. Okay, go ahead and shoot one more there, that center, and then we'll take it up. Okay. All right, now let's go to the right 5. Going to keep the same point of aim. Okay. Now let's go to the left 5. This back. Okay. Let's go back to the right 5. Take one more shot there. Okay, now let's go back to the left 5. Take another one. Same point of aim. Okay. Now let's set that back to 0. And we're going to go up 5. Okay, let's try one more at 5. Okay, now let's go up 10. Next shot. Next shot. Take one more at 10 MOA. Okay. Now let's adjust up to 15. We'll take 2 more shots at 15. Okay. Next one at 15. All right. Now let's go up to 20. So taking it up 5 more MOA. I have to say, guys, the turrets on this thing are smooth, extremely tactile, no over travel at all. That's what we want to see on a scope of this caliber for sure with this price point. Take one more at 20. All right, let's go ahead and adjust up to 25 MOA. Next shot. I do apologize for the shadow on the target, but thankfully we're getting a little sun today, but it's projected downrange, unfortunately. Last one at 25. And then we're going to take it back down to 0. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and adjust all the way back down to 0, our starting point. Okay, now we're going to take 2 more shots, and hopefully they land where we started. Okay. One final shot at 0. All right, so let me run down. I'm going to grab our target. We're going to take a look at it at each of our adjustments, see how this thing did, and we'll get some final thoughts. All right, so we went and grabbed our tracking target, got it back here on the bench. Let's take a look here and see how we did. However, first off, with some disclaimers, I do consider that rifle to be a consistent 1 MOA shooter, as well as myself. On most days, I do consider myself to be a consistent 1 MOA shooter as well. So with that said, let's take a look and see how we did. So here is our first shots. We had 1 here and 1 here. So that's well within our 1 MOA variance. Same with here. There's 5 MOA there. We've got 2 shots a little bit to the left. Now, one of these definitely could have been me. Guys, I am only human. However, pretty consistent and still within our margin of error. 2 shots right here. We did shoot these alternating and they worked great. I mean, the shots here are stacked on top of this one here. Again, well within our 1 MOA. We moved up to 5, took 2 shots here, very much within our 1 MOA variance. Let's take a look at 10. 2 shots in basically the same hole. And let's take a look at 15, get this target to cooperate. There's 15, 2 shots right on the line. And here's 20, 2 shots on the line. Again, this rifle shoots like a laser beam, and that one there at 25, we've got 2 shots. And then coming back down all the way to the bottom, we've got 2 more shots in that same hole there. So with that being said, guys, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best tracking scope that I have had on the channel for sure. I mean, that's just facts. It is. I can go back and pull my other targets, and there is way more variance in those than there is this one. So take that for what it's worth. A couple of things to kind of go over. I'm going to roll in some steel shots through the scope at various distances. So the first one here is going to be at 110 yards. We're going to look at 10 power. And as you can see, I really hope my camera does the clarity of this scope justice, but I doubt that it will. I mean, it is absolute. It's like looking through a window. I mean, there is no variation in the image quality at all looking through the scope. And the thing that I found most interesting is it carries over even in the higher magnification. So let's take a look at 210 yards here at 20 power. And edge-to-edge clarity looking through the scope is absolutely phenomenal. There is no variation, no fisheyeing, no darkening, no nothing on that optic. Now let's switch over to 30 power, same distance, 210 yards. Now with this one here, the interesting fact with that shot HT glass is even after all those shots, the heat mirage is still mitigated a little bit. It's definitely not as bad as it would be in other scopes. So it's very interesting that that glass can help with that. But overall, I am personally pretty impressed. And one thing that I did find very interesting about this company is they are a direct consumer company. So you're not buying from a middleman. You buy from the actual manufacturer themselves. The 2 owners there, they actually had a background at Nikon. I love Nikon scopes. I was so bummed when they stopped making those. I still have some of my old ones. And in my professional job, Nikon still makes the best microscopes in the world. I love Nikon microscopes. So those guys definitely have found something with Tract optics. They are definitely putting out some good stuff. But I will leave the final evaluation up to you guys as always. Let me know down in the comments how you think this one did. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please check us out over on Facebook. Interact with me there. Love to talk with you guys. Check out our campsite page, all the deals over there. And as always, shoot straight.